What's going on? What's going on? Looks like that man is still doing this thing. Earl Spence versus Danny Garcia. Well, when it comes to pay-per-views and viewerships, it usually takes a good 2 weeks for the numbers to come in. That's what has been the case for a very, very long time. In the last couple of years, what they've been trying to do in order to discredit certain fighters is any kind of preliminary type of stuff that's coming in, any kind of little thing, they'll try to come up with that number, come up with a low number, and try to act like those are the numbers. So later on, when the official numbers come out, it's like whatever was put out first is what's kind of stuck in people's heads. Kind of like with a Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. Oh, it did 170. It did north of 170,000 pay-per-views, right? They'll say something like that, which means it could be 171,000. It could be 171,000 pay-per-views, or it could be 30 million. So they're lying, but technically they're not lying. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a half truth in order to make you think something. Then it turns out those pay-per-views end up doing over like 350,000 pay-per-views, right? When it came to Earl Spence versus Mikey Garcia, they did the same type of thing. Try to come up with lower number. It did north of. That's usually the numbers that they use. It ended up doing 350,000. They did the same thing with Spence versus Sean Porter. Ended up doing 325,000, right? So Javante Tank Davis, with the news that Coppinger put out, he said, "Oh, this fight did above 200 and 200. I said something like 200,000 or 250,000. He said 250,000. He said just like Tank versus Santa Cruz did over 200,000, which we know Tank versus Santa Cruz did 250 to 300,000. They said it was going to do no more than 250,000, and they believe it's going to just stop short of, at the best case scenario, stop short of 300,000. That's where they figure the numbers are going to be. But of course, Coppinger says it does above 200,000, which technically is the truth. It did do over 200,000. It did close to 300,000. So for this particular bout with Danny Garcia and Earl Spence, he does the same thing. Oh, it did above 250,000. So the number that's sticking in people's heads is the 250. So basically, when they do something, the reality is, how much did it do over 300,000 pay-per-views? That's basically what it's going to be. How much did it do over 300,000 pay-per-views? So you might as well just say it did above 300,000. So when the numbers actually start coming in, and they come in especially after 2 weeks, you'll hear different numbers as always. So regardless, it's close to the same numbers as Earl Spence always does. He usually does over 300,000 pay-per-views. Did 16,000 people at the gate, in the middle of all this that's going on in the world right now. Very successful event. The merch that they had out sold out in seconds. They put it online, both his and Danny Garcia's, and it sold in absolute seconds. So they made an absolute killing when it came to this fight. Both of these guys are going to clear millions of dollars, who knows, 7 to 10 million or more, each. So it was very successful. The man did his thing. After coming off his long layoff, after coming off what happened to him with the accident, him learning from that, him getting himself back into shape, getting his muscles, ligaments, and tendons to where they needed to be. Clearly, he can take, his face is fine. People wondering about that. That was my question, is how is he going to react when he gets hit with a shot? That was my thing. How is he going to react when he gets hit with a shot? And he reacted fine. I thought he left himself open in a couple of certain situations, or some shots didn't necessarily place as good as I would have liked. But for the most part, he did excellent. He did a great job. He dominated Danny Garcia in a way that no one else has been able to dominate Danny Garcia. And a lot of people said Danny was going to get knocked out. I didn't see that happening. My phrase for the last couple of months was put respect on Danny's name. I didn't see that happening, and that didn't happen. And, Earl Spence was able to come out victorious. And when it comes to the financial aspects of it, he did great. And he's just solidified himself as as you know, as an attraction when it comes to pay-per-views and when it comes to the box office. What his next move is going to be, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly who he's going to be fighting. I know a Manny Pacquiao fight would be a great fight for him. Or Keith Thurman keeps talking. I think if Keith Thurman wants to fight him, Keith Thurman needs to get the ball rolling. Try to get a bout with somebody like a Ugas. You beat Ugas, now you put yourself into an incredible place to fight him. If you don't do anything, a bigger fight was going to end up being a Sean Porter fight. That rematch with everything that happened before, the storyline is just so much better. So if Keith Thurman wants that, that shot, he really should start making moves and do something now, and fast. So then you can maybe have, work yourself into having a bout with him. But I think he's supposed to come back during the summer. That's what he says. I'm guessing they probably already gave him a date. Already probably told him like, yo, you're gonna come back during the summer, and we're gonna have a big bout over then. And especially by then, vaccines and everything should be out there, and they should be receiving big crowds again by next summer. So I would expect if he was to fight in the summer, it'd be a big event whoever it is that he fights, where they can fill out an arena, and make some even crazier bread, But definitely congratulations to him. Congratulations for Danny Garcia, from going out there, putting their lives on the line, showing out, and giving us, great boxing, and put themselves into financial space where they can help their families, in even better ways than they were before. That's all you can ask for. If they get something out of it, we got something out of it. And we'll see what the next chapter is. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.